The Reagan National Defense Survey released today showing the military is the most trusted U.S. institution. A new survey shows 86% of Americans say they have confidence in the military. That beats law enforcement, Supreme Court, and the presidency. I want to bring in Roger Zakheim, director of the Ronald Reagan Institute, and thanks for coming back here today. What do these numbers tell you about where America is, Roger?
Well, thanks so much for having me on. And I think what it tells us is two things. One, the work that President Reagan began 40 years ago to restore American pride in the military has worked. They are professional, and they do their craft well, and the American people trust them. The second thing is I think the American people understand that our military and what they do is the guarantor of our peace and prosperity. And they're essential to the lives that Americans want to live, the free lives and the liberty that they enjoy every day.
Here's another thing you found. Half of Americans believe the U.S. should be more engaged with world events. It was 50% to 33%. That, too, would be a message that Ronald Reagan had carried through his private and public life, Roger.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. And Americans understand that to lead, that to enjoy, as I mentioned before, the peace and prosperity, we have to be involved in the world. In fact, another question in this survey says that 2/3 of Americans support the military being based overseas to do that work. That doesn't necessarily mean war or conflict. It means that that effort, that presence guarantees our freedom.
Well, it's so relevant when you hear about these questions from Mike Pompeo a moment ago with regard to Hong Kong or Iran or China. What did you find out about how Americans feel about those conflicts, Roger?
Yeah, great questions. The survey was really revealing on those questions. Number one is that China is the #1 threat in the minds of Americans. Two, that when it comes to Hong Kong, Americans support that our government should support the people in Hong Kong and their pursuit of freedom. 2/3 stand by supporting Hong Kong democratic efforts, even if it means irritating the Chinese.
Roger Zakheim, we'll see you in California. Roger Zakheim, we'll see you in California in a couple of weeks, okay?
Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you for coming on today and sharing the results of your survey. The timing was rather perfect with Mike Pompeo talking about these matters. Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Sandra.
All right, well,